Okay, now. Hello and welcome to another speaking video by Johnny. Chào mừng các bạn vào video speaking khác nha. So in this video, I'll be practicing speaking. I will let one of my students practice speaking. And this is Mr. Luan, as you can see in the previous videos. Well, he's just shared with me recently that he will take the exam very soon. So Mr. Luan, when are you taking the exam?
Well, I intend to take the exam in June.
June.
Yeah.
Right. So when exactly? Because I know there's every month, like there are about 4 times period that you can take it, but we have now a kind of lockdown. I don't think they will have an exam,
Yeah, exactly.
So
I think
maybe
it
take it.
depends on COVID pandemic situation
Yes.
in Hanoi.
Oh, you're in Hanoi right now, right?
Yes. So
I
it
see.
depends on the condition of
Condition.
COVID pandemic that
Right.
whether our government can control
Get control.
the
Yes.
control the virus.
So, Mr. Lon,
Wow,
Do you think Vietnam is doing a good job in controlling the pandemic?
I think Vietnam is a outstanding country in the world um, in regarding to
With regard to,
control the
with regard to
with regard to control
control.
COVID pandemic, control COVID pandemic.
All right, let's start again. And now, Mr. Lund, so you think Vietnam is doing a good job in controlling the pandemic, right?
Yes.
So, will you stay in Vietnam in the future, or will you just study abroad or go somewhere?
I um, I will stay in Vietnam for a long time. Uh, I just go abroad for traveling or for a short trip.
Oh, short trip. I
Yeah.
see. And how was your trip?
Um, most of my trip was great.
Say again? Much of
So
our
most of my trip that I go,
many of my trips are
yeah, most
most of my
most
trips are
most of my trips were great.
yes.
So
Okay,
I
and
learned, yeah, I have learned so many things from foreign country when I went there.
okay.
That's it.
Right. So do you so which part of your country do you want to live in, Mr. Lund? This is about topic number
well,
28, your country.
when I was a child, I had a dream to live in a house near the beach,
Mm-hmm.
surrounding by so many trees. Yeah, so I still keep that dream until now. So for the local in Vietnam that I want to live in, it's definitely um, Phú Quốc and Nha Trang.
Right. It's definitely Phu
Maybe
Quoc and Nha Trang, I see.
Đà Lạt as well.
Good. Right. So what makes
Maybe
you
Đà Lạt as
feel
well.
yeah, so what makes you feel proud of
So
your country? So the next question is what makes you feel proud of your country?
well, there are many things that make me feel so proud about Vietnam. Vietnam is
Feel
my
proud of, feel proud of, to feel proud of.
feel proud of. my country.
Yes.
When I was a student, I was proud about Vietnam history
Yes.
with milestone that I heard.
Historic milestones.
Milestone.
Historic
That,
milestones. Yes.
yes, that I heard my story from my father. Then this day, the world has witnessed unprecedented event.
What do you mean president event? What do you mean president event?
Present president. I mean,
you mean the event that it has not happened before? You mean
not happened before? Yes,
unprecedented event.
Unprecedented event in the world that so every country in the world has to fight with the coronavirus, and Vietnam is not an exception. But our country is very, very good in controlling COVID pandemic. So I read many newspapers from outside Vietnam. They said about Vietnam, so it makes me so happy and proud about my country.
I see. It makes you feel happy and proud about your country.
Of my country.
Okay, very good. Proud of my country, very good. So, do you know the history of your country well?
Well, to be honest, I am not a good learner about history.
Learner of history.
Learner of history.
Yes.
So I barely remember the time or the event in our country. But I know some famous events that happened in our country in the past.
Okay, so let's move on to part 2 now.
For example,
please continue.
Revolution.
The revolutions, yes.
Okay.
The internet is a bit broken, but we can do it, no problem. About revolution, okay, I see. Now, so let's move on.
That's it.
Yeah, let's move on to part 2 now. So let's do topic.
In 1945.
Can you say again?
Yeah.
All right. Do you? Okay. So let's do part 2, pages 24 out of 36. Trang 24 trên 36.
I don't say anything. Okay.
Trang 24 trên 36, chủ đề 30. Topic number 30. Describe a childhood friend of yours. Do you see it? Mr. Lund, do you see topic number 30 and part 2 yet?
Describe.
Yes, describe a childhood friend of yours. I don't know why, but this time the internet seems a bit bad. Let's hope that it won't be that bad.
Topic number 30.
Yeah, number 30.
Yeah, describe a childhood friend of yours.
A childhood friend of yours. Very good. So you should say when you met him or her, where you met him or her, and what you did with your friends, how you felt about the friend. So this could be easy and you don't have part 3. Okay, let's try this one in 1 minute, okay? Okay, let's start again now. So, Mr. Lun, please describe a childhood friend of yours. Your 2 minutes start now. We were close friends. We were very close friends. We did, we did everything together. In communication with others. I was a very naughty child. I was a very naughty child. I had so much trouble with others. I can see that. Right. So basically, he was your sidekick. Let me just give you a new word. Sidekick. 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 Basically it means the person who always by your side even though when you're in trouble. Giống như bạn nối khố. Giống như là bạn nối khố. It's like sidekick are people who always by your side even though when you're in big trouble. All right, let's move on to talk about something else beside from cousin. 35. Can you do 35 now? And there's no part 2, there's no part 3 either. Okay, 35. It's describe a photo of yourself you have taken before. You should say where you took it, when you took the photo, how you took it, and explain how you felt about the photo. 1 minute, please. Okay. Let's start now. Okay. Please describe a photo of yourself you have taken. I barely took photos. I barely took photos. Yes. that I have undergone. Okay, so it's how you felt about a photo, I see. Right, good. Now let's move on to 36. Describe a thing you refuse to lend. You remember, to borrow means you have something that you give to others. But lending means like you ask others to give something to you. So don't be confused with borrow and lend, okay? Describe a thing that you refuse to lend. Miêu tả một cái gì đó mà mình đã từ chối cho người khác mượn. You should say what the thing was. Who wanted to borrow it from you? Past tense. Why he or she wanted to borrow it from you, and explain why you refused him or her. Okay, this is 36, and you have a minute. Yes, please. Of course, lend money, lend objects, anything. You can lend or borrow anything. Yes. Good. Okay, 1 minute for you. Okay, you can talk about now. Describe a thing you refused to lend, please. Innocent. I was an innocent boy. And apologize about and apologized about. You can say said sorry about, or you can say apologize about. Don't use sorry as a verb, okay? Don't use sorry as a verb. Ah, convinced. He nearly convinced me to. Okay. 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 So that's why you refuse to lend money to him. I see. Okay. So let's move on to a topic of part 2. That has part 3 as well, I think. Okay, where's that? Let me find it. It's about, I think it's all the way, yes, here. 48, we done already. Let's go to 49. 49, chủ đề 49 đó. Describe an art exhibition that you visited. Miêu tả một cái, gọi là gì nhỉ? Cái triển lãm nghệ thuật mà các bạn đã viếng thăm. You should say when you saw this exhibition, where the exhibition was held, what was on display, and explain your impression of the exhibition. Miêu tả cái gì mà mình đã thấy trong cái buổi triển lãm đó. Triển lãm được diễn ra ở đâu, cái gì đã được trưng bày, cái gì đã được trưng bày, và giải thích cái ấn tượng của các bạn về cái triển lãm đó. You also have part 3 related. Okay, Do people have different concepts of arts and why? Con người ta liệu có những khái niệm khác nhau về nghệ thuật không? Tại sao? Why are some artworks expensive? Tại sao một số tác phẩm nghệ thuật nó lại đắt tiền như thế? Why do some people like to collect famous paintings? Tại sao một số người thích là thu thập những cái những cái painting, những cái bức tranh, bức họa nổi tiếng? What can art brings to life? What can art bring to life? Nghệ thuật có thể đem đến cuộc sống cái gì? Okay, so there's a lot of strength questions about art. I'll give you 2 minutes, okay? But remember, in the class, you only have 1 minute. Okay, let's just start now. So, Mr. Lun, please describe an art exhibition that you visited.
Well, when I was a student, I did have interest in art exhibition, but when I graduated from university, I worked for a company which required me to visit and work with many exhibitions. Then I have a chance to approach the new world. The exhibition that made me impressed is rearranged exhibition. It held in a National Art Museum.
National Museum.
National Art Museum. There were many items from famous painters in Vietnam at that time, and the art was amazing. Especially, they have an artist who went around and explained the painting for visitors and help visitors and also help me understand the painting well. So he makes me feel the sense of art. Yeah, that's it.
He makes me feel what? He made me feel what?
Feel the sense of art. The sense.
I don't understand it. Please. He made me feel.
I mean, a sense. Make me feel.
Feel the sense of art, right?
Feel the sense. Yeah.
The sense of art. I see. Okay, now let's go to part 3. So, Mr. Lun, do people have different concepts of arts and why? Concepts of art and why?
Well, actually, people always have different concepts of art, for sure, because there are many reasons. Because people live different life with different experience.
Okay.
Then they will gain different view and perspective about the thing, the event, and the art. So
okay.
The art is how about the artist describe the world, their world, and transform it into art to show for people.
To show people, yes. What do they show people?
Yeah. So that's why there are different concepts for art.
Right, I see. So why are some artworks expensive? Think about paintings and sculptures, paintings. Why are they so expensive?
Sculpture. Well, I think the art is a combination of
combination
yes.
time
the talent of artists, the moment that they catch, and so many things, even involve the memory of an artist.
Okay.
That's not easy. That's not easy to finish and find out. So that's reason that artwork is so expensive.
I see. Right. So why do some people like to collect famous paintings? What do you think?
I think people want to live a
Luxurious life? Artistic life, maybe?
sensation life.
Sensational? You mean?
Sensational life.
Sensational means something, sensational means like you evoke the emotions of the public. It doesn't mean that people a meaningful life. Yeah, very good. A meaningful life. Yes.
Meaningful life.
Yes.
So besides the daily basic that
the daily necessities, like the daily necessities, right?
Necessity for the living, they also need a higher quality of life, and they want to connect their soul with
themselves. They want to connect themselves with
something different, something higher than normal in their life. So
I see.
So they want to collect the famous painting, which is more about the art, more about the soul. So that's the reason they want to collect that.
I see. Okay, very good. So, what can art bring to life, Mr. Lun?
Well, the first thing come across to my mind is it helps people deal with the stress of their life.
Okay.
Because when they living in real life, they have to face with many things, many struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Then they want something much they rely on that.
That make them rely on that or realize? What word is that? Rely or realize?
Rely
on that. I see. Okay.
That.
Okay.
Rely on that, and maybe bring them to a different world, different location in their mind, and make them feel better from their particular situation in their life.
Okay, very good.
I
think that's good enough. Well, we run out of time already. So today is not that long video anyway. We just have 45 minutes, but I only recorded that much, like half an hour. It's okay. Doesn't need to be so much. Maybe next time.
How about the weather in Ho Chi Minh City?
It was raining. Yeah, it's so hot. It's so hot, and it was raining recently.
Yeah. It's about 39 to 40 degrees Celsius. In Hanoi.
That's really hot. Oh. Stay safe then. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads, okay? You can also follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook as friends, okay? Bye and see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to another video by Johnny. Chào mừng các bạn một video khác của Johnny nha. So, in this video, I'll do the speaking practice. with Mr. Drago. You know him. You might have seen him in the last 2 or 3 videos. He is the one who always give very unpopular opinions, I have to say, but very interesting indeed. Very interesting point. You might need to learn from him a lot too, because he's the one who's always into politics, into like world history, and things that you might not know about. He's also into science and music as well. So very knowledgeable person. And of course, he had been learning with me for many years, I think. How many years?
I think it's about 4 years.
I mean, it was 2 years ago you studied for IELTS. It was
Yeah,
1 year, that amount of
yeah,
time, right? And
yeah,
then
something like that until now.
until now, you retake the
And
exam
yeah,
and
recently is about right now. I think well, if I have to calculate a whole new year, it must be about like almost 3 years. I think so. Yeah, but until now we have been very long time friendship, right?
of
So we
course,
had
I
sometimes
have
we
known
had
you.
yeah sometimes we had some of the outside conversation in English.
Exactly.
Sometimes that's therefore you sometime fix me sometime when we were just having regular conversation in English.
Okay.
That's why I was learning a lot from you at the time too,
Thank you.
and that's why I just try to combine all kind of times until now must be about 4 years. Yeah.
I have known you since 2014, actually.
Oh yeah.
So it's been 7 years. Wow. Now,
Yeah, we were playing music in the bar before, right? So
of
yeah, there was a
course,
time I was also practicing English at the time. Yeah.
true. Now, so basically, let's practice now, and we are using the same materials like before. Okay, I would like
Sure.
to give my thanks to Mr. Ngokbat and his team so for making these materials available for free for all of us and anybody else who has contributed the effort to make this material available. Now, enough formalities. Okay, let's go to 14. Part 1, 14. Can you talk about studying mathematics? Don't worry, it's not about deep knowledge about mathematics at all. So,
Yep.
Mr. Drago, when did you start learning math?
Well, like everybody, I began to learn mathematics when I was at the primary school, and there was a time that I think most juniors had to begin to learn how to calculate some of the simple numbers. At the same time, learning math was getting higher level when I was studying at the high school. So I think there was so. In conclusion, learning math, I think I exactly uh, started to learn math at about 5. Yeah.
5 years old. That's a bit too early, don't you think?
Well, because like at the some of the how can I say, like pre-primary school before we were learning some of the basic things about let's say plus minus something like that. Yeah.
Plus, minus. Oh, that's important.
Yeah.
Now, so do you like mathematics?
Um, Before when I was still in high school, I actually was not good at math. I was actually an average student at math too,
An
and
average student?
yes, maybe under
Hmm.
average student at math. And so, wow, that's just well in my past. I don't care much about that. Okay.
You shouldn't care.
So when I was at school, I didn't like math. Of course, when I was having very low score in math, I hated them. But until now, I found that there's a huge importance in math. When I was studying finance in Canada here, and I had to calculate a lot of numbers at the same time, probability, percentage, and let's say capital gains, something like that. Therefore, and until now, I was trying to learn how to love math, and
Have you
I just
succeeded in loving math?
so I have accomplished that level, and now I'm very loving math. Yes,
So you love math, right?
yes.
Remember, love belongs to state verbs,
Mm-hmm.
and it does not really have an how can I say continuous form.
Mm-hmm.
So we say
Oh, okay.
you love math. You don't say I am loving math.
Okay.
So just say I love math now.
I love math now. Yeah.
Okay, so who taught you math?
Like many people, I was studying math with certain teachers at the high school, secondary school, and primary school. But until now, after I have graduated from high school, nobody teaching me math anymore. But I was learning from the textbook in my courses in finance. Therefore, I was just learning myself. Yeah.
Therefore, you're just learning yourself, I see. Alright, so you're just learning by yourself, right?
Yeah, by myself.
Okay. So is math difficult for you to learn, to be honest?
To be honest, math is it depends on the level of math you are using and you are learning. For example, if you are just learning some of the basics form- formulation, such as the probability, percentage,
You mean formula?
minus
Formula?
a formula. Sorry, yeah, formula. So
Mhm.
let's say probability, percentage, minus, plus, or let's say some of the just all the simple math that you are calculating numbers. That would be
Integral?
bas-
Integral?
yeah. So
Derivative?
yeah, I don't really know much about the that vocabulary. Yeah. So
Integral, that
yeah,
fun.
derivatives exactly. So
Derivative đạo
derivative is
hàm. Đạo hàm.
yes. What derivative is actually depends on what you are learning. Okay, derivatives in mathematical like say courses that would be very difficult. But if you're just learning derivative in the financial courses, it will be very a little bit different because you are just calculating the number of the level of stock price. Therefore, I found that like math is it depends on the level you are learning, but basically it's quite easy, not so difficult.
Of course, it's quite easy. Easy game.
Like I told you, it depends on what you are learning.
Of course. I don't like probability much.
Yeah, because when I was playing blackjack or poker, I had to calculate probability in terms of chips. Yeah.
Okay, okay, so do you like to use a calculator or not?
Yes, I have to use the calculator in many calculations when I was
Exercises?
no, just doing some of the financial statements because
Mhm.
there are a lot of numbers and a lot of lines. So I
Okay.
have to use calculator in
And you
order
don't
to
want to make mistakes, do you?
yeah, just simplify. Yeah, first simplify. Second, I had to try to correct every single number when I am calculating any
So when you're adding up
financial
number,
problems.
when you're adding up number and subtracting number, right?
Yes, yeah. At the same time, like you are multiplying number two. You're multiplying number two,
To subtract, to
and
multiply,
yeah,
and to divide, of course.
multiply and divide two. Yeah, divide is chia, right?
Exactly. Of course we know.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about happiness for a while.
Interesting questions.
It's an interesting question about happiness.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything that makes you feel happy lately?
I think, in my opinion, and for myself, I know many people, many people have a lot of ways in order to make themselves happy. But for myself, I think like in order to make me happy, just leave me alone and let me do anything that I like. And but I'm always ready to receive any advice from my friends around
Any
me.
pieces of advice, right?
Yeah, any pieces of advice from my friends around me, and I found that like happiness is something like you are staying in the world that you like to do. Of course, if there's anyone advising you to do something, for example, to help yourself develop financially, something like that.
Mhm.
So you have to think about that. But if it is inappropriate to what make you happy, well, you just have your own consideration on it. Yeah, but myself, I think like just leaving myself alone will be making
Alone,
happy.
alone, alone.
Alone,
Ow, 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 ow.
oh,
Alone.
alone,
Mhm. Alone. Mhm.
alone, just will be
Okay.
making me happy. Yeah.
Right. So what do you do to stay happy? The questions ask like, how do you remain happy all the time? How do you do that? What do you do to stay happy?
I think it depends on the times, like
I don't know.
when before COVID-19, I was just love to go to the office. I just
The office.
just love to go to the office, and I was working right there, talking to the people in the office around, and having a conversation with the managing director. Yeah,
The managing
so
director.
yeah, managing director of the office. But after the pandemic of COVID, I found that like I was staying home, and there was a stay home order issue by the premier of my province.
Premier.
Therefore,
Oh.
premier is like governor of USA.
Governor. Okay.
Yeah, in Canada we call premier. Yeah.
Okay.
So excuse me. So well, until now I was just enjoy reading books, sometimes practicing some of the certain skills like playing guitar, calculating probability, and at the same time reading some of the financial statements in my expertise. Yeah.
And your expertise. Oh, that sounds fancy. And your expertise. Sound very fancy, you know. Trong chuyên ngành của tôi, in my expertise.
Yes, expertise.
Okay. In your expertise. Wow, that sounds very fancy. Now, so can you stay happy all the time? Obvious question.
Oh well, obviously, I don't really stay happy all the time, but when sometimes I get depressed due to some of the let's yeah. So, but anytime when I always believe in one thing, that like when I am staying in depression, I always know that there will be a very very tiny sunshine at the end of the
tunnel.
tunnel. Yeah, at the end of the tunnel. That's what I believe. So
the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
It's a saying, right? It's a saying.
Yeah, it's like a very very tiny light at the end of the tunnel. And therefore, I found that like I can try to make myself happy, and I always try to believe that the happiness will come anytime, even when I'm staying depressed. Yeah.
Well, there's a saying. There's another saying I want to tell you. Every cloud have the silver lining. You know that one, right?
Every cloud has
a silver lining. Đám mây nào cũng có lớp đường viền bằng bạc.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
So basically, every cloud has the silver lining. This basically it's an idiom that say everything, even though bad, it can still have like good sides to it.
Okay.
Nothing totally bad. There's always something good about everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Every cloud has a silver lining.
Silver linings, right?
Yes. And at the end of the tunnel, you will find a way.
Yeah. At the end of the tunnel, you will find a way. That's what Donald Trump said.
Of course. Hopefully he got re-elected, huh?
I will. I'm hoping that.
Okay. Is it important to be happy?
It's very important to be happy, honestly, because happiness is going to give you a lot of inspiration in life. At the same time, your energy. And, energy is still the most important thing that can be created by the happiness. And if you are just very dedicated to anything or any work that you are doing in your life, you always need the happiness to remain the long-term goals that you are working on it.
Okay. Now, so let's move on to part 2, 16.
Mm-hmm.
16. There. Okay, so part 2, you only have that much. 16. Describe a time when you felt very bored. Miêu tả thời điểm mà bạn cảm thấy cực kỳ nhàm chán. Be careful with bored and boring, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting and interested. Okay. You should say when it was, who you were with, what you were doing, and explain why you felt bored. This is a past thing. And then part 3. When do people feel bored? Khi nào con người ta cảm thấy chán? What do people usually do when they have got nothing to do? Khi con người ta chẳng có gì để làm, người ta thường làm cái gì? If you say they do nothing, you get a 0 mark. Okay, do children get bored more than in the past? Why? Why not? Trẻ nhỏ ngày nay có bị chán nhiều hơn trong quá khứ không? Tại sao không? Okay, you have 1 minute to think about this part. 1 minute start now. Thumbs up.
Sure.
Okay, Mr. Draco, please describe a time when you felt very bored.
So, in 2020, actually at the beginning of the year, when the COVID-19 started to break out to
Started
the
to
world,
spread, right? Started to
yeah,
spread everywhere.
to spread everywhere. So the stay-home order was issued by the government of my province at the time. Therefore, I found that I had to stop working at the office that I was in, and due to stopping working, I found that there was very boring time that was making me feeling very very bored. And the only reason why I was feeling very bored just because I was stopping working, and there was no one with me at a time to getting bored with. Therefore, I found that I needed to do something.
That's why you dragged me into this.
Yeah. So
is that why?
What?
Is that why you dragged me into this to get bored together with you? Okay.
No, I was paying with you. I was paying for you to do that. I was paying for you to do that for me.
Of course, I was paid. Of course.
That's the price I had to pay for you, my friend.
Okay, good. That's good enough for part 2. That's good enough for part 2 already. Now, let's go to part 3.
Okay.
So, when do people feel bored?
I think most people feel bored when they have something that has been failing themselves. Like, for example, when they have any failure in terms of
failure.
Right? Failure. So when they are failing or doing something, they will begin to get very bored. But it depends on what they are going to do after any failure that they are having. So anytime when there are any individuals begin to motivate themselves from any failure, they would just start to get something immediately to improve the case. But if improving
their
after improving any situation, it may not be as expectation, so they can get bored again.
It may not be what? It may not be what?
It may not meet any expectation. Yeah, so they will get bored again. But like I said, it depends on how you are going to improve the situation. So I think when people will be getting very bored when they fail of doing something. Yeah.
I see. So, what do people usually do when they have got nothing to do?
It depends on people. I'm not pretty sure about in this modern world, because at present there are a lot of things that have been helping people to stay away from doing nothing, such as they are having the digital device, for them to explore something on the internet, right?
On the internet.
On the internet. At the same time, some people who are more traditional or conservative, they would tend to
conventional.
Traditional.
Of course, traditional means conventional. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Same thing. Conventional là theo tính quy ước. Conventional, basically people who always follow the norms, the normal things. or they are
Okay.
traditional people too? Same thing.
Sure. Sure. So, with the people who are more conventional or conservative, they would tend to find look for some new books to read, and that case is going to make their life slower when they have nothing to do in order to kill the time.
Mhm.
And the only purpose of both sides are just about killing the time when they have nothing to do. So I think like people would tend to use the internet to
Just to
look for
surf the
something
internet,
interesting.
just to kill
Yeah,
time, just
yeah,
to do that. How about people who
yes.
are more ambitious? They could use that time to try to think about ways to improve their life. Like, for example, they can think about taking IELTS exam, taking tests, so they can come to see me and I can help them, you know.
Well, all they have to do is first to pay for the booking fee of the IELTS examination day, right? And second, if they would like to improve their skill much better, they have to pay for a tutor to do that for them. To study with them, not to do that for them. To
Yes,
study with
they
them for that.
can
Yeah.
ask for my help. They can ask for my help, and
Yes, exactly.
I'm more than willing to help them.
And you know what? That is very necessary, honestly, because even though you are knowing English, it doesn't mean that you are knowing some of the techniques to get high scores in certain examination, right? So
Exactly.
you need expert to help you in terms of examinations.
Of course, that's why I'm here. And that's why
Exactly.
you're watching this video. And if you agree to study with me, thank you so much for helping Johnny to build his new apartment.
I would encourage that. I would encourage.
You should encourage that. Now,
I would encourage.
so let's talk about children a bit. Do you think children these days get bored more than in the past?
Mm, in this opinion, I think it is right that the children are getting more bored more than in the past because I found that if I had to compare between my generation with the present generation, when I was about let's say 12 years old, I was just hanging around with my friends outside to play football, and we actually were very creative in
We
terms
were
of
actually very creative in terms of what?
yeah, in terms of establishing any games to play around. Therefore, it was keeping the children at my age to be very creative in any kind of game. Even one in the most humble way, we still had the game to play. But until now, at the development of let's say technology and the closer approach for the children to use the technology, I found that the children they would tend to instead of finding something outside to play, they just try to get one device in order
You
to
mean
find
they
something new,
tend
look for something
to
new in order to
Mhm.
make them interested. Yeah,
They stick their eyes to the screen.
yeah, yeah. Stick the eyes to the screen. Yeah.
Okay, they stick their eyes to the screen, and that is a really bad thing. Does it affect them in any way, do you think?
I think that if it is a long term effect, it would be very. The children would tend to be very passive in terms of creativity
Mhm.
and productivity too.
All right. So it doesn't help them. Okay, let's come to the next topic. It's 17. Describe a time that you gave advice to others. You should say, miêu tả một thời điểm mà bạn cho lời khuyên cho người khác. Remember, advice is uncountable, okay? Không đếm được nha. So
Okay.
you have to use piece of advice to count it because
Sure.
advice uncountable.
Mm-hmm.
You should say when it was to whom you gave the advice, what the advice was, and explain why you gave the advice. You have part 3 here. Should
Sure.
people prepare before giving advice? Con người ta có nên chuẩn bị trước khi mà cho lời khuyên không? Is it good to ask advice from strangers online? Có tốt để mà hỏi lời khuyên từ những người lạ mặt trên mạng không? What are the personalities are people whose jobs is to give advice to others. Cái tính cách của những người mà công việc là cho người khác lời khuyên là gì? What are the problems if you ask too many people for advice? Có vấn đề gì nếu bạn hỏi quá nhiều người cho lời khuyên? Chính thầy người ma, chính thầy người ma. Chính người người Ý.
I see.
Okay, you have 1 minute to think about this topic. Now, let us begin, my friend. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Describe a time where that you gave advice to others.
So 3 weeks ago, I was giving advice to one of my friend who I was studying with in high school, and I found that there was an interesting topic to talk with him about advice, and I was talking about the investment decision in terms of Bitcoin and
Coins.
digital currency. So the advice, digital currency. So the kind of advice I was giving to him, because he was so interested in digital currencies. Bitcoin was not the only currency that he was trying to invest into, but even many other kinds, let's say Dogecoin, something like that. I found I was telling my friend, hey, you should look at what you are investing, because let's say if you are comparing between the US currency and the Bitcoin, US currency used to be backed by gold, but the Bitcoin has no underlying asset to back up.
To back it up.
To back it up. Therefore, you should be looking at what you're investing, because the fluctuation of the price will be very, very high. Let's say if it is going up, will be going up very strongly. But if it is, let's say, dropping, there will be dramatically dropping that you will never expect it to drop. Therefore, I was telling him that I have the very lack of confidence in Bitcoin.
I have a very lack of confidence.
I really lack. Sorry for that. Okay, I really lack the confidence on the digital currency at the same time the Bitcoin, and I found that it was not a good way to invest. You should invest in what you understand the most in theory of economic, and that was the kind of advice I was giving to him in terms of investment decision.
Good. So let's go to part 3. So, Mr. Drago, should people prepare before giving advice or not?
The answer is yes. For example, when I was studying in financial advising courses before, and I had to prepare some of the documentation before any client coming to my office. Let's say I would prepare the piece of paper of name, know your client. So know your client means it would be showing that how much income do you make in a year, what is the asset are you having, and some of the risk tolerance. Let's say
risk tolerance, right?
Yes, risk tolerance. Let's say how many percent can you feel if the price drop more than 30%, something like that. There are some certain questions for any advice in terms of investment decision. But I think it would be very similar to any kind of advice in the other industries. And you have to prepare before giving any advice, because giving advice is like you are acting yourself, or you are giving yourself to be an expert of something. So you have to prepare before giving any advice.
Of course. Isn't it obvious?
Of course, must be very obvious. Like you are the expert of IELTS. That is why you're giving advice to me and fixing someone's mistake. I'm happy right now.
Exactly. And if I mess up, you will be the one who score badly. Now, so is it good to ask advice from strangers online?
I would try to divide this case into two sides. First, if you are paying the service for the expert to give you any advice from the very well-known company, like let's say like one insurance company that has been working for many clients for the last 40 years, something like that. It has its own the credit from many clients. So
You mean
if you're paying,
credibility? Chữ
yeah,
thật.
credibility, yeah. So
Credibility.
credibility. So
Credibility. Chữ tính.
credibility. Yeah.
Among the clients.
So if you're paying for the expert in terms of advising fee,
Mhm.
and even though they are the strangers, I think that is still the service that between the clients and the advisor. But if you are receiving any advice from any strangers without, let's say, any fee, even though if there are some kind of certain fees of that, but he has never had any credibility. So I don't think that would be very very appropriate to receive advice from those people.
Okay. Inappropriate to give advice, to take advice from the other people, you mean? Take advice.
Yeah, to take advice. Yeah.
Now, so talking about advice, is it good to ask advice from strangers online, unknown strangers?
No, is not so good to ask any advice from any strangers online. But I like I told you, like if you're paying a fee to the strangers online, and the company has a high credibility.
Credibility.
Yeah, credibility.
Mhm.
So I think that would be fine. But if you're just asking strangers that you don't really know who he or she is, so I don't think it would be a very good time to ask any advice online.
Wow, a lot of people watching this video, probably they listen to my advice all the time.
But you have been kind of well known in the IELTS
Oh, thank you
community
so much.
in
I'm so
Vietnam.
relieved.
Yeah, because you've been knowing so many high profile IELTS teachers right there, and they are your friends. You are their friends too. So there must be the relation between the expert, right? In the expertise, right?
Well, we have a good groups of people. It's like
Mhm.
that. Ah, yeah. So, what are the personalities of people whose job is to give advice to others? Like, for example, psychologists, financial advisors, doctors, teachers, something like that.
Yeah. I think, in my opinion, I think there are certain personalities that you have to equip for yourself, in terms of advising something. But those kind of personality can be practiced, and if you naturally have it, that will be fine. So first, psychology. Psychology is very important in any kind of advising work, because psychology will be helping you to acknowledge, in terms of taking a question from the clients. At the same time, you need to have the skill of listening to understand the case that your client is telling you to advise something
Yeah,
that
I'm
is about
listening to you
psychology.
talking. I'm listening to you
Yeah,
talking now. Yeah.
sure, yeah. So that's about psychology. And secondly, you need to have a little bit. I'm saying just a little bit, even though it's a business, but a little bit sympathy in terms of listening to anyone, because sympathy is the only way that you are going to, uh, let's say, limit the business mind sometimes, because business mind sometimes is very very cold. Like you have to keep the cold head, something like that.
You mean
That
keep your
is,
cool.
yeah. So
Basically, they say keep your cool.
cool, yeah. So
But
you need to
that
have
is not formal. You should say you should keep let's say you should keep your concentration. Keep
concentration.
your balance.
Yeah. So you have to keep your balance between the business and sympathies when you are giving advice to anyone, because I know, like some people, when they are asking your advice, they are needing your help, And if you are just looking at themselves as a client to take the money from themselves, I don't think that is a good way that you are going to give the best advice for them.
Right. So these are personalities. Okay, patience, listening skills, have to
Sympathy.
get a balance, sympathy.
Yeah.
Like sympathy for the devil. Now, what are the problems if you ask too many people for advice?
Ask too many people for advice.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that. The only problem that you will be having if you ask for uh, many advice from so many people is that you cannot balance the kind of knowledge that you are receiving. I have to say that. For
Balance
example,
knowledge. You mean you
yeah,
cannot really how can I say process all
yeah,
the
process,
information?
yeah,
Process is a verb. Process all the information that
process.
you receive.
So in this, I will give you this example. When I was studying in finance, and many people told me that like you should get into some of the Facebook groups in in when they are studying finance like myself, and I was like, okay. And when I was getting into the group, I found out like, hey, those people they have been giving so many advice in
Pieces of advice.
yeah pieces of advice when they are learning something in finance. I have found like those way that I cannot adapt at all. And I think the most important thing when you are asking advice is to receive some of the ideas, but not about like receive the solution of something. So it's all by yourself when you are doing something, you're doing any work. Therefore, I found that like you can ask advice from some people, but it's still the most important thing that about yourself. That what are you going to do in order to adapt the
What
case that
you
you
are
are
going to
doing?
do. What you are going to do.
Yeah, what you are going to do in terms of adapting the situations when you are working on something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good enough. Now, let's move on to 18. There's another question over there at the end of the page. Describe a perfect job you would like to have in the future. I think we did this one before, did we?
No, we didn't do this.
Okay, let's do this one. Describe a perfect job you would like to have in the future. Miêu tả một công việc hoàn hảo anh chị muốn có trong tương lai. You should say what it is, how you knew it, là thế nào anh chị đã biết công việc đó, what is it like, and explain why you think it's perfect. And you have part 3 here. What kind of job do children like these days? Why? Trẻ nhỏ ngày nay thích cái loại công việc như thế nào? Ngồi không bán online.
Yes, you're right. You are right. Exactly.
Sitting in one place doing nothing. I'm just joking. Sitting online and selling stuff.
Wow, I know. This is a very popular job right now. Many
And
young
then
love to do.
And then searching for dramas.
Searching for drama.
Do children like to choose the same profession as their parents? And why? Trẻ nhỏ có thích chọn cùng cái nghề như là ba má chúng không? Will people regret about their career choices when they become older? Con người ta sẽ hối tiếc về cái sự lựa chọn con đường công danh sự nghiệp của họ khi họ trở nên già hơn không? And what should people consider when choosing jobs? This is easy. Actually, this topic is easy.
Okay.
Con người ta nên cân nhắc cái gì khi lựa chọn công việc?
Okay, let's try it.
You have some time.
Okay.
Your turn.
Now, let's do it.
Describe a perfect job you would like to have in the future.
I would like to talk about like the perfect job that I'm expecting to achieve before I will be 26 years old. And that job is portfolio manager. So portfolio manager is the position that you are going to invest the capitals, I mean the money, on behalf of your clients and
Clients.
clients. So the interesting point in this job is that you are not going to receive any commissions from the clients, but you are going to receive the management fee every single year. So I will give a very simple example. Let's say if you are managing about like $12 million, I mean from any clients, the whole money, and you are using those money to invest into certain securities on their own profile,
Their own profiles.
their own profile. And at the end of the year, you are going to receive, let's say your company is giving you about 2% management fee, and you are paid 2% on that $12 million. It's about like a $200,000 a
That's
year.
a lot.
Yeah, I know. So that is a case that you should think about, like managing the money from the other people. But there are also certain risk that the clients have the right to sue you, to file a lawsuit against you when they are losing money, right? Because you are helping them invest money and you're keeping the money. So, but this is a job that I found that like still very interesting and very challenging job, because I need to keep my life more challenging every single day in order to keep them more interesting. The more challenging it is, the more interesting it is.
You want to live life on the edge, do you?
On the what?
You want to live life on the edge. Live life on
I don't
the
know.
edge.
I don't know the term. What is
life
that?
on the edge means like you live a very adventurous life. You don't
Okay.
like comfort zone. You don't like comfort zone. You live life on the edge, do you? You like it, do you?
I kind of like it, but not totally 100%. Let's say, because like when you are, let's say, in the perfect job that I'm choosing right now, is that I have to pass a lot of exams, and I need about like, let's say, 3 years of experience in financial advising job. So there would be a very long process in order to become the portfolio manager. So therefore, I found that like the reason why it is perfect is that it's going to give me a lot of let's say freedom in terms of choosing the financial condition. At the same time, it will be helping me to look at more the financial conditions in the world, because I will be using the money in order to actively invest on behalf of my clients. Yeah.
Actively invest on behalf of your clients. So basically, you are investing using the client's money, not your own
Yes.
money.
Yeah.
So, but you have the credibility. You have to make them earn profits on that, right?
Exactly. If they are losing money, they can file the lawsuit against you, and that will be the problem. You have to pay them back. That is the case, right?
And you end up a poor counselor.
Well, but in contrast, if you do very good job, and you will be earning a lot of money from that, for the
Of
management
course,
fee.
it's the
Yeah.
same for everything in life. You try your
Exactly.
best and you become popular and famous.
Yeah, it's like you're going to the casino. In casino, you choose the game you understand the most to play. In the market, you choose the kind of stock you invest. You understand the most to invest. Well, that's the same kind of thing.
Sounds good. Now, so let's come to where were we? Will people regret about their career choices when they become older? What do you think?
I don't think that the people are going to regret of their career choice when they become older. But I would have to say that it depends on the cases. Let's say like when they become seniors, and they will still keeping working in order to making for living. I don't think like they are going to regret of that, because they are still keeping themselves active when they are getting older. But it depends on the choice, like whether the person when they get older would like to retire or just keeping working, not to get bored. So I don't, but I think mostly people are not going to regret of the career choice that when they get older.
Right. Okay. So, will you regret your career choice when you get older?
I don't know.
You
I
never
don't know.
know. You never know.
I never know. I don't know
I
because
don't
I
think
have
I
not.
will regret. I don't think I
Because
will ever regret.
yeah, because I have not even achieved the perfect job I just told you. So how can I know, right?
Right. So, talking about children, do children like to choose the same profession as their parents? What do you think?
Um, the opinion I will be giving to this question may be very controversial, but I think it would be very logical. Let's say I think more children don't like to work the same professions of their parents, and there are two reasons of this. I mean, two situations of this. Okay, if the children
If
were
that
born in
child, you mean, if that
yeah,
child.
yeah, if a child was born in a let's say very rich family,
Oh,
so they
rich
would
kid.
tend to think about the career that would be helping them to achieve the let's say ambition or just like inspiration. Like they don't think much about money. They just think about like the passion that they would like to achieve. But if that child was born in a very, let's say, middle class or yeah,
Underprivileged.
underprivileged or let's say middle class or just
Hey,
low.
I was born in middle class family. You
Okay,
too.
they will
Uh-huh.
they will usually think about a job that will be helping them getting richer in the future. You know, to it's not about it for themselves, but they would think about like improving their family condition. I mean, financially. Therefore, I found that like that is the reason why most children don't like to work on the same profession as their parents.
It would be extremely boring
Yeah,
and
because
not challenging enough.
yeah. So when yeah, they would tend to work in the turn of passion when their family is having a very good business. But what I say, in a poor family, children would tend to think about any job that can be helping them getting richer. Yeah.
Right. So, what should people consider when choosing jobs? What do you think? Last question before we end. Make it
Mm,
last.
okay. This is a very kind of tough question in my opinion because
It's not a tough question.
yeah, because I'm still in a time of considering the kind of jobs. But I like, even though I have chosen the perfect job to do this.
You haven't chosen the perfect job yet.
Oh, the portfolio manager.
Oh, you have chosen.
Yeah. So
Right.
I think in this case is that like people should think about any kind of job that would be helping them to balance between the passion and the finance. That is a very simple term because you when you are working with your passion, but you cannot make any profit from that. I mean, financially, you cannot even survive in order to go ahead with your passion, right? But if
Mhm.
you are just working for finance without any passion, you will be very easily get bored in a very short time. So maybe in the future you may think about changing the job that just simply uh, making more money or something like that. I'm not sure about that, but if you are changing many jobs for too many time, I don't think it would be a very good way in order to achieve what you consider of choosing certain kind of jobs. Yeah.
Well, normal people, they would answer this question like this. They would talk about like, working condition. They would talk about like your um, opportunities for promotion, like salary, transportation, is it near to home or something like that. But I like the way you think.
You know what? Because here's the thing. Like for example, I will give you the example in yourself. That will be very reality. Reality. It will
You
be in the
mean it will
reality.
be very realistic, huh?
Yeah, realistic. Let's say you are working as a let's say teacher, right?
Uh-huh.
And you are like a, let's say, private teacher. And let's say if you are very similar to the job that I was studying in as a financial advisor,
Mhm.
and there's only one term: the more clients you have, the more money you have,
Exactly.
right? So that is a very simple term. So if you just think about like let's say getting salary, that's fine, that's fine. But what happened if one day the head of your company declare bankruptcy? What are you
Oh,
gonna do? And you have, and I know like you may not think about that because you just simply like to work, and let's say company is going to stay forever with you and something like that. I'm not pretty sure about that, but I mean like if you have to consider any kind the kind of job that will be helping you survive first and helping you another way, the pathway that you can getting higher. Let's say you can be working with many clients, you will save a lot of money, and one day you
exactly.
can open your own office in order to promote yourself
I
to
don't
more
even need to open my
clients.
own office.
Yeah, I mean, like there's just a kind of idea. So you
Right.
can open more, let's say, marketable offers that you'll be helping having more clients for yourself, right?
Okay, good
So
idea. Thank you. Okay, so this is the end of the video. Also, the end of his class. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about new uploads, okay? You can also follow my Facebook, but for God's sake, do not add me on Facebook as friends because I will never accept it. Okay, see you then. Bye!